All right, welcome to the Explainer. Today, we are pulling back the curtain on something called a Hardware Security Module, or HSM for short. Now, you've probably never heard of them, but they are the absolute unsung heroes of our digital world, working silently behind the scenes in some pretty surprising places. So let me just kick things off with a question for you. What do you think is the one piece of technology that acts like a digital bodyguard for both the cash you pull from an ATM and the car sitting in your driveway? You guessed it, it's the Hardware Security Module. Okay, so let's get right into what this thing actually is. At its very heart, an HSM is a special kind of physical computer. And I mean physical. It's a real box of hardware. It's designed to do one thing and one thing only: handle security. Its entire reason for existence is to create, manage, and, this is the big one, protect the cryptographic keys that basically act as the locks for our entire digital lives. Now you see that word trusted up there? That is a huge deal. It's not just some marketing buzzword. An HSM really earns that trust. And how does it do that? Well, it's built from the ground up for security. We're talking specialized, certified hardware, not your off-the-shelf stuff. It runs a super secure, stripped-down operating system. And getting access to it, it's all governed by these incredibly strict internal rules. The whole point is to be a black box that actively hides and protects those cryptographic secrets from any prying eyes. You know, the easiest way to picture this is to think of it like a digital Fort Knox. It's a tamper-proof vault. The most important, most secret digital keys, they're born inside this vault, they live their entire lives inside this vault, and they never, and I mean ever, leave. Anytime you need to use a key to encrypt or sign something, that work happens securely inside the vault itself. The secret never gets out.
Okay, but here's the thing. Not all of these digital vaults are created equal. HSMs basically come in two main flavors. You've got your general-purpose ones, and then you've got these highly specialized guardians, each built for a totally different but equally critical job.
So on one side, you've got your general-purpose HSMs. These are kind of the Swiss Army knives of the security world. They handle all the common encryption algorithms, stuff like RSA and AES that keep your web browsing and online shopping secure. They're out there protecting things like website certificates, crypto wallets, you name it. But then on the other side, you have the payment HSMs. These are the highly specialized bodyguards for the banking industry. We're talking about a whole different level of security, built for the high-stakes world of finance. They're the reason your PIN is safe at an ATM, and they secure the massive electronic fund transfers that keep the global economy moving.
And that really brings us to a super important point. HSMs show up wherever the security stakes are through the roof. And right now, there are very few battlefields with higher stakes than the modern connected car.
I mean, think about it. A modern car isn't just metal and glass anymore. It's literally a rolling data center, a network of computers on wheels. And what you're seeing here is just a sample of all the different ways a hacker could try to break in. You've got the physical port right under your steering wheel, the car's internal network, the Wi-Fi, the Bluetooth, even the software updates that come over the air. Every single one of these is a potential doorway for an attack. So with all those open doors, how in the world do you protect a rolling computer from getting hijacked? Well, this is where our hero, the Automotive HSM, steps onto the scene. It's the car's last and best line of defense. Let's look at a few real-world examples of how it fights back.
All right, let's start with a really nasty one: firmware modification. This is where a hacker tries to mess with the core software, the very brain of one of the car's little computers, the things we call ECUs. These ECUs control everything, from your engine timing to your airbags.
So what can an attacker do? They could try to rewrite the code to, say, disable the brake's anti-lock system. The impact is, well, it's terrifying, right? A total safety compromise. But here's how the HSM fights back. It's a feature called Secure Boot. Every time you start your car, the HSM looks at the software's digital signature. It's like checking its ID. If that signature doesn't perfectly match the one from the car manufacturer, the HSM just says, nope, and refuses to let that code run. Simple as that. Attack blocked.
Okay, next up is something called CAN message injection. The best way to think of the car's CAN bus is like its internal nervous system. It's how the engine talks to the transmission and the brakes talk to the dashboard. An attacker tries to get in there and just start shouting fake commands into that system. Just imagine someone injecting a fake message that suddenly tells your engine to cut out on the highway or for your steering to lock up. It's a recipe for disaster. So how does the HSM stop this? With something called secure onboard communication. Basically, every single message sent across that network has a secret, cryptographic handshake attached to it.
The HSM uses its protected keys to check that handshake. If it's legit, the message goes through. If it's a fake from a hacker, it gets completely ignored.
And that brings us to the holy grail for any car hacker, getting their hands on the secret cryptographic keys themselves. They do this by finding a bug in the software and exploiting it to steal the secrets.
Look, if an attacker gets the keys, it is absolutely game over. They own the car. The whole system is compromised. And this, right here, is the absolute core value of an HSM. The defense is called secure storage, and it's so simple but so powerful. The keys are physically stored inside the HSM's own tamper-proof memory. The car's main computer can ask the HSM to use a key, like to check a signature, but it can never, ever actually read or see the key itself. It's like asking a trusted friend to sign a document for you in a locked room without ever showing you the pen. The secret is always safe.
So all of these examples, the secure boot, the secure messaging, the secure storage, they all boil down to one single fundamental concept. It's the whole reason HSMs even exist. And that concept is the root of trust.
Yeah, this quote nails it. The HSM is the root of trust. Think of it like the concrete foundation of a skyscraper. It's the one part of the whole security system that everything else is built on top of. It's the one component you can trust without question, precisely because its security comes from physical hardware, not just lines of code.
And if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's this right here. Without a hardware root of trust, any security that's based only in software is, at the end of the day, vulnerable. I mean, software can be patched, sure, but it can also be manipulated, it can be bypassed by a clever attack. It's just code, it can be changed. But a hardware root of trust, that's a physical thing. Its security is literally burned into the silicon. You can't just hack the laws of physics. And that is the unshakable foundation that software by itself can just never provide.
So we've seen them in our banks and in our cars. These small, powerful digital bodyguards are quietly becoming essential. And it just leaves you with a final question to think about, right? As our homes, our medical devices, our power grids, our entire world gets smarter and more connected, what's the next thing that we're going to realize absolutely has to be protected by a hardware root of trust?